I know some of you have been waiting for my opinion on the movie. Well, actually, they broke into four parts, but it's basically put it together as a movie. When They See Us, directed by Ava DuVernay, about the Central Park Five. I'm gonna be honest with you, I cried. I was in tears, man. I'm gonna tell you now. Now I'm familiar with this case. I've been familiar with it since 1989. But to see it in that way, see it from that perspective, to see actors act out these parts with these brothers went through, it made me cry, but it also made me angry. I remember when this happened 30 years ago, April of 1989. I remember how not just the people in New York were, but across the country. A lot of young black males were getting hemmed up because of this. I remember when it happened that my mother and father was afraid for me and my brother, and even some of the neighbors was afraid for the boys to be outside because we had a lot of people giving their opinions across the country. And for some reason, they don't play the local news coverage here or in other parts of the country because people said, damn, all over America, y'all have just judged these black boys guilty. Now, you can say what you want to say about Reverend Sharpton. Reverend Sharpton been there defending them from start. And even when I heard about it, I said it doesn't make sense. Knowing what I know about our community and about the age group of the black males at that time frame. And what I mean by that is, some people gonna take offense to this, but we need to call it what it is. This is these brothers are Gen Xers. These brothers are in my age group. Okay, they're not that much older than me. More than likely, their parents, grandparents, if you watch that movie, raised them to be in utter fear of white folk without even saying it or doing it indirectly, if you get what I mean. Or you had to acquiesce to white folk in power or perceived power. It's not like this age group today where they're like F everybody. No, back then you told about your parents and grandparents, watch them. You have to understand this is around the time when the Do the Right Thing came out. When all that racialized shit was going on in New York. This is around the same time when that white dude lied about in Boston, shot his pregnant wife and lied and said a black guy did it. Come to find out, his brother and him had set up. He jumped off the bridge. Remember that? Those men and women knew these boys were innocent. They didn't care. How many black males then, yesterday, and today have gone to jail or gone to an early grave because you had police officers saying, we don't want to do due diligence and find out who the criminals are. We just going to get that person, the public think it's just a copycat. This is one of the reasons why our community, why the black community in particular, don't trust law enforcement. Every one of those police officers and those prosecutors should be in jail. What's her name? Linda William Fairstein, whatever her name is. She's huffing and puffing this morning because people are kicking off boards and stuff. For 30 years, she got fed off of this. They took 6 to 11 years of these brothers' lives. They could never get back. Think about that. You're a teenage boy. You're being accused of raping a woman. They did everything. They did everything against the law. They did everything they could to break the law, and did it. And they did it in front of everybody. But the jury and certain elements of the media still presented these boys as criminals. And when it was found out that they was lied on, you had people like Donald Trump and them hunkered down. Well, it's a travesty. Michael Bloomberg, the former mayor of New York, made sure they wasn't going, even though they found out he was innocent, we're not paying them any money. They were wrong. You would think somebody who always, and this what gets me about Bloomberg and them, and y'all might know where I'm about to go with this one. You have a particular group of people on this planet that goes back to World War II and go back to a certain person, and they hide behind that incident, that dude, and talk about anti-Semitism and all this hatred and everything, and then they talk about, well, we need to be compensated. You can get compensated, your community can get compensated, but when stuff happens to us, no, y'all do everything y'all power to deflect. 41 million ain't enough dollars, in my opinion. New York should be forever indebted to them. These people lost friends, loved ones, and let's be honest, part of the black community across this country and in New York turned their backs on these brothers. I remember my mother and father, we was talking about, me and my mother and father and brother was talking about this, and me and my brother was scared. I never, he said, like, that could happen to us. We knew the boys didn't do it. The people say, how would you know? Let me say this again. There's certain things that we don't do. This perception that the black male is so obsessed with a white woman and we can't control our urges. No fingerprints, no DNA, nothing with these boys on their clothes, nothing. But they had a serial killer rapist going on around there. Other women's lives could have been saved if it wasn't for those police officers and lazy police work. I want y'all to look at this. Look at how young they were. Convicted as a juvenile of first-degree rape and robbery, sentenced to 15 years. He served 16 and a half. Convicted as a juvenile of second-degree attempt murder, first-degree sodomy, first-degree rape, and first-degree robbery, sentenced to 5 to 10. Served 6.5 years. Convicted as a juvenile of first-degree rape and robbery, sentenced to 15 years. Convicted as an adult of the first degree, he was 16. Corey got the worst of it. He wasn't no adult. He was 16, and the thing is, he wasn't even there. He went along with Yusuf to be his friend. And anybody that interviewed Corey, and he even said it, he had learning issues. He served 11 and a half years. He was beat. The white supremacists beat them. The correctional officers beat him. He was beat left and right. He was raped. Then it said Antoine McCrae. Let's see. Convicted of juvenile first-degree rape and robbery, sentenced to 10 years, served 6 years. They didn't do it. And you have people like Donald Trump taking out, they need to be executed. I remember in Hollywood, they was talking about all these people, that they don't play these clips now. They won't play their clips now. Even in Hollywood, they talked about this. I never forget this. Black boy, as we went to school and we was talking about this in my classroom. And we was like, man, brothers was getting hemmed up. Any case where a rape victim, they went hard in the black community. I never forget this. Now everybody want to play like, well, that was a different regime. ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, HLN. There was no Fox and MSNBC at that time. The Sun-Times, the Tribune here in Chicago, USA Today, whatever newspaper in your part of the country, y'all treated these cats as criminals. It was only a handful of people in the media saying something don't smell right here. Something don't seem right. 30 years, and you got people still saying, well, they was a part of it. No evidence. And then okay, let's just say for shits and giggles, they did participate in it. You still gonna dismiss with the police tactics? This is why our community, some of our people look at law enforcement with a broad brush. This is why we have issues in our community. And right here, this should tell you why our community looks the way it does. Poor police work. Every week we hear about a story of somebody in law enforcement doing something they're not supposed to be doing. The New York Fraternal Order Police is a joke. Just like Chicago. They sit here, well, it's a rough job. Well, get another job. You took the part of their lives away from them. These guys are traumatized. I don't care which. I know Corey is. Think about this for a second. They're in jail, getting beat upon, and when they go, you had the brother McCray. He left. He had to change his name. I don't blame. He didn't want to be associated. And all of them left New York except Corey. They all left because New York they threw him under the bus. But now I'm gonna be honest with you. It's something they haven't done yet with this. I wish they would do. And I give them an idea of love with it. But I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of heads need to roll on this one. If these brothers, if they sit there, they say they don't. If they went around saying F this person, F, they have it right in the world to. I sat there and I thought about it. I said, wait, what was I doing in 1989? I remember exactly what was going on for me in 89. I remember what was going on for me in 1990, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96. Think about that I want y'all to think about that for a second. Seriously, think about that. They didn't get to enjoy the things that we did in the 90s. They didn't get to listen to the music we listened to, watch the TV shows, or have the screw ups that we had when we was kids. I'll never forget the 1989, that first, and I go back based off TV shows. That year, Roseanne premiered, Cosby was still on TV, Superboy was going through his first year, Star Trek Next Generation was in its second season. I remember that. I remember that exactly. We were just probably about 4 months in our new house. I would never forget that. I remember that was when that part of the Austin community over there near Oak Park was still really, really nice. I never forget that. I remember exactly what was going on during that time. These cats we had to do the perp walk, being called animals and savages. People talking about they need to die. They're getting death threats. We got to watch the last episode of the Cosby Show, Different World. We got to watch Martin when it first came on, Living Single in those shows. 90210. These cats were in jail. And let's be honest, as time went on, we stopped thinking about them a lot more and more. And I ain't gonna lie to you, it was a time where I didn't even think about them after a while. Out of sight, out of mind, because once you don't talk about something after a while, you that's it. But then when you hear about a rape case on TV, then your mind pops back up like, yeah, remember Central Park 5? How many brothers have we seen just in the last decade get out of jail who was falsely accused of rape? And then the woman that claimed that was raped, she said she has no memory of it. And I actually feel really sorry for her. But the more I hear her speak now, I don't feel sorry for her ass. Yeah, that sounds cold, but I'm gonna tell you why. Even though the guy who raped sat there and described everything he did, described everything she had on, his DNA all over everywhere. His DNA, not these brothers. His DNA. She still insists that these guys took part in it. How in the hell can these guys participate? Had no scratches, no loss of blood, nothing that would go this, nothing. I mean, I want y'all to think about that for a second. Instead of her saying, you know what, I'm glad justice had been served, she going around and defending the cops. Even when they proven to be wrong, they hold on to that lie. They like, no, them niggas had to have done it. They had to have done it. I just can't believe. I'm not gonna. I'm not. I can't admit that they was wrong. No. This is why me and so many others are yelling at y'all about the whole thing with Bill Cosby and these other brothers with this Me Too stuff. Like, y'all don't realize y'all playing it to a stereotype. And even though black folk, because even back then when these brothers accused, yeah, they must have done it. They were young, they were horny. They saw a young white woman, she wasn't that much older than them, maybe about 10, 12 years, and or 15 years, they couldn't take it. They had to have her. Let me break it down to y'all. Our parents and our grandparents, aunts, uncles give us that talk, especially black males, straight black males. They said, son, grandson, nephew, whatever you do, you can look but don't touch. And if you do, you better be careful. They'll rape real quick on your ass. They yell, you attacked them, you yell at them. This is one thing that's just universal in our community. So consider these brothers' age and what time in America what this was. Now, if it's today's country where these kids have been brainwashed by that television, oh, we all love each other. They love rap. They love. Then I can understand them being naive to the world. But no way in hell. See, we keep ignoring history. That's not to say that black people can't commit crimes. That's not to say that there haven't been black men who have raped, but just the dynamic of looking at their families, looking at that time what was going on in New York. They had a lot of racial issues. These young brothers would go out there and play into that. Now, there was probably a group of kids out there doing some rambunctious things they shouldn't have been doing, but these cats didn't rape that woman. And for Donald Trump and them to this day to still say that, they just don't want to admit that they had it wrong. That means they are cool with sending innocent black men to jail for life or to an early grave. Now you got people mad. Oh man, Ken Burns and his daughter Sarah Burns did the documentary and wrote the book, brought all this attention. Yeah, they supposed to bring attention to this. Do you know what it's like to be a black man in America and worry that somebody at any moment can accuse you of a sex crime? Whether it's inside the community or outside the community, whether you did something or not, they can at any moment. Look what happened to Brian Banks. He was going to be a star football player. Female got jealous and just was out for shits and giggles, said he raped me. No evidence, just on her word. He went to jail, had to register. If her goofy ass didn't reach out on Facebook to him, he was said to register as a sex offender. Same with these guys. And people should have realized when they kept asking them when they came to parole here and stuff to admit that they was guilty, these dudes didn't know. Look at Corey. Corey had a chance. They said, well, do you admit your guilt? And Corey like, I didn't do it. He'd rather stay in jail and take an ass whooping than admit that he was guilty. That should have told you right then and there. This is why I say in our community, we need to stop encouraging our sons to go play a damn sport. Have them be lawyers, doctors, teachers, businessmen. Because I'm gonna tell you something. When you look back, who the lawyers they had at first, you're like, those lawyers tried. One of the lawyers was a divorce lawyer. All the lawyers in that city, nobody wanted to help them. Black lawyers. Let me remind y'all, it was members of the black community that took their back on these brothers. They bought into what they heard on the news. Like now, I see a lot of people talking about, man, look what they did to Bill Cosby. He in jail. Me, Nicole, many other people warned y'all. We said Cosby being set up. Y'all out here aiding the enemy. He's in jail. While all these other jokers that was out there got caught, they still walking around free as a bird. Look how Oprah Winfrey played into that thing with Michael Jackson. He's a pedophile. Even though the FBI was watching his ass. Even though for years, nothing, no evidence, no nothing proved that he did anything, Oprah went and she said, I believe you guys. This is what black men had to deal with from within inside and outside the community. People believing that we're guilty. People say, you guys are paranoid. Yeah, to a degree, we are paranoid. At any moment, somebody can accuse you of something you didn't do. I'll give you an example. Just out on YouTube, it was a few years back. You had a YouTube that I thought I was cool with. She went out here and started saying stuff about me that wasn't true. And I'm like, I never did anything to this sister. But people, they for a while, they bought it. And I'm like, and it hurt me bad. I'm like, I don't know what I did to this woman. But then I said, you know what? Let God deal with it. I'm just gonna step back and let the chips fall where they meant. And then people started to see it wasn't me. Hey, Harwan, nah, you believed it. That hurt me more than anything, that people actually believe. People can't believe that black men or black boys can be respectful and honorable. This is why we don't live long lives. This is why we always under stress. We're the most emulated people on the planet, but the most hated at the same time. Have these brothers felt some semblance of a life? At the end of it, they said, that they got kids and whatnot. And I'm trying to remember if they said he was married, but I know some of them live in Georgia. But that they scarred. I'm gonna tell you something. I was in a war zone and I was traumatized by certain things. It's times I can't sleep at night. So just imagine these brothers in a prison system. I remember in basic training, we couldn't watch TV. We couldn't eat certain things. We couldn't go anywhere. We was in one position. Just imagine. Now take that tenfold in prison. I'm sitting there thinking about, okay, in basic training, I couldn't watch. We didn't know what was going on in the world during that time. We couldn't go here. We couldn't go there. They told us when to sleep. They told us when we can wash our ass. Just think about all this. Just imagine in the prison system. I know they're traumatized. I hope that these brothers are getting counseling. I really do. Because if they're not, that's going to be passed on to their children. It's going to be a generational thing of trauma. But those men and women, those cops, those in the media, those in Hollywood, they all yelled and said they was guilty. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. People keep talking about what Donald Trump. Look, we know what Donald Trump did, but I can't believe I'm saying this. Let's not just go after Donald Trump now. We know what he partied. See, it's too easy because he's the president. Y'all look for sound bites. We know what Donald Trump said. But you had black people in the press. Go back and listen to them brothers out there that's talking about, a lot of them are retired now or dead. But go back and look how they're reporting them stories. And look how they're reporting everything since then. That's why last night I was flipping the channel and D.L. Hughley was talking about Central Park 5. And he said it took justice a long time, but it come back to get you. You see what they did to Bill Cosby. DL, you're a grown ass man. You know damn well it don't take much for somebody to accuse a black man of rape. You pissed off because you and Cosby had a negative interaction. That means he must be guilty. Look how they trying to destroy Martin Luther King's legacy now. This is why I tell brothers, and I'm being crass, but I'm being truthful. You get that horny and you ain't got no female around, you better learn how to masturbate. You better learn. Because you go out there and try to flirt or joke with somebody. Oh my gosh, he made me feel uncomfortable. He violated my space. I don't know what to do. He made me feel nasty. Too many black males have lost their vibe. Look at Emmett Till. Emmett Till never touched that white woman. Never flirted with, never did anything. She lied. And her husband and his half brother went and killed that child. 50-something years, 60-something years later, nothing happened. Where the outrage at? How many black men have gotten out of jail who was accused of rape? I mean, look at the little boy that years ago they executed, say he killed 2 white girls. No, damn well he didn't do it. How many black men and boys hung from trees was castrated because of a lie? Avery DeVernay, I keep doing this for the name. I apologize. I got my issues with her because she part of that Me Too thing, but thank God she did this. You okay, boy? It's sad to think that these brothers was out there. I mean, when you look at the old film, go watch the documentary, Search for Fire, read the book, and then read this. You be like, man, they was out there basically by themselves. And these brothers have every right in the world to be angry and be bitter. They say they're not, but a lot of times I think we do that for show. But I'm gonna be honest with you, we need to stop doing that too. If you angry as a black man, don't hide it. Yeah, I'm angry. Yeah, I'm bitter. Yeah, I got hate in my heart. Yeah, I want revenge. This is why I tell brothers, I say, when we hear these things about rape, y'all better ask some very important questions of who, where, and why. See, we didn't seem to forget. That's why I kept telling y'all, I kept saying, y'all, this whole Cosby thing don't smell right to me. Now y'all starting to see it for what it is, because now it's approaching, it's touching some of y'all. I said, when they send Cosby to jail, don't think they coming after the rest of us. And you saw what they did from September of 2017 to this point. They went after a long list of black men. Look what they did to R. Kelly. They rehashing something that we already knew. They going back to the original court case. They couldn't retry him on what they wanted to try him on, so they says give him on this. And I'm not comparing R. Kelly to these brothers. But what I'm saying is, if anything dealing with sex, they're gonna try to get you. Look what they did to Nate Parker. Nate Parker, the chick lied on Nate Parker and his friend. But look who they got to go out there and cut his throat. Gabrielle Union, Robin Roberts, and Oprah Winfrey, and look, that's Wendy Williams. Look who they got. It's hard for a black man to find a steady relationship, be in a relationship, and trust that he's not going to be betrayed by a relationship. It's hard for a brother to go out there just dating around with a quality woman or get to just have fun like everybody else. Because at some point he can be accused of rape. And that's the scary part, that you can be sitting here minding your own business and be 20 years later, he raped me. No evidence, no nothing. No DNA, no nothing. They got the damn rapists in jail, and the police department, the police officers, and them still say, yeah, they had something to do with it. Wow. God don't like ugly, I'm telling you. It may not happen now, it may not happen today, it may happen tomorrow, it may not happen in this life, but whoever's close to those people or the family, they're going to get it. I hope I'm around to see it, or somebody else around. I hope they kids around to see it, because I'm telling you right now, what those police officers and them lawyers did 30 years ago was downright evil. And when black people sit for years, we've been saying this. This is what goes on. This is why when people talk about they legalizing marijuana in Illinois, I'm like, I don't know y'all dancing a jig, because until they start giving out business license, letting those brothers and sisters whose lives or families are destroyed because of the drug war, then you might go out there and smile and dance a jig. But right now, they still putting brothers in jail for crimes that these white guys would never go to jail for. I guarantee you, these are a bunch of white guys accused. They would never saw inside of a jail. Just look what's going on the last few months, last few years.